Hey, what's up guys? Today we're looking at another shader, as you might have guessed from the title, the Minecraft Enchantment shader in Blender. So let's actually start off. Let's load up the thing here. So as you can see, we got this sword over here from the Cycles BSS rig, and this is the shader for it. I actually split it before into a few parts so we can actually, go through this piece by piece as usual. If you are using the Cycles rig, which probably will be, because it's not like there's a lot of rigs out there with this much functionality. But if you're using it over here, let's actually click on the sword and you go into material properties, and here you get usually you get two sections. On the most recent one, the most recent version, there should be two sections. So the first section is the main part of the sword. So as you can see, the handle and the outside of the thing. So if we disconnect this, cut this off, you can see it loses texture. But if we actually, put this back and we go into the second part, this is the one that we're working with, because this is the center of the sword. As you can see, if you cut this off, this is the part that we're working with. So with that in mind, let's actually begin. So over here, as I said in last video, this is the normal or standard layout for the previous versions of Blender or MC Prep. Now this is not what you'll see if you use the new version, but this is what I set up because of personal preference. So if you do want to copy this down, there's honestly not going to be any difference whatsoever, pretty much, I think. But okay, let's say we have this. There's only one output to it, as there would be to another normal layout, and this output, we actually take it and we send it into an add shader, which adds everything on top of the normal texture. So as you can see, we have the normal texture. We use it. We plug it into the top shader of the node, and then everything that goes into the bottom one. This is what we're going to look at next. This is what is the sort of overlay for this texture. The noise over here. So yeah, let's look at this actually now. So first things first, you will want to create a new noise texture node, and here play around with the scale, because if you want to copy it down, but you can change the scale. It's going to be smaller or larger. Well, the higher the number, the smaller the scale, or the detail, make it more sharp or less, or wait, no, what? Yeah, well, just play around with the settings if you want to make something a bit different. The roughness, the usual, all that stuff, distortion, actually that's kind of cool. But okay, so as last time, if you do have the Node Wrangler add-on turned on, you can click on this and press Ctrl-C and it's going to give you this, but we went over that before. So we take the color output from this node and we send it again through a hue saturation value node, which once again we set the saturation to 0, and well, we get from a normal noise, which let's actually hold on a second here. If we just take this over here, yeah, you can see it's very faint, but let's actually bump this up. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, the noise texture, it's usually pretty colorful. It's got every single color in it, because that's how usually the noise textures work. But if we actually send this through, you are now going to get the black and white typical, let's actually scale this again. Yeah, you get the black and white texture. So once again, once you send it through this, you send the output, the next output, into a brightness contrast node, just to, fix a few things here and there. If we just plug this in normal, let's actually, yeah, if we plug this in, you can't really see anything, I guess. But if we send it, oh, there we go, yeah. So as you can see, we really put a contrast in it. And usually that's what you kind of want for the enchantment shader, because, well, you're going to see those splotches of color, which we're going to work on later. But this is the white. The white basically shows us the outline where the stuff is going to be always on those shaders. The black is going to be invisible, and the white is going to be the color. So you play around, put in the numbers that make it the most the thing that you want. Once again, personal preference. You just go through, and if you want to, you can copy this down. But yeah, you would get something like this. So once again, again and again, we send the color output into our next node, which is actually a separate section of its own now. We put it into, this is the RGB curves node. RGB curves. God, I can't speak today. You know, that's usual. You go into Shift A, search, and RGB curves. Yeah, there we go. And usually there won't be any, you know, difference in it. You're gonna go through these settings and it's gonna be all uniform. But if we go back to this and we, you know, connect the output over here to the input, you can actually put different points on here. So you just click on the thing and you set a point and it changes how the color looks. So this is actually, I should have explained it earlier, but this is, as you can tell by the name, RGB, it's gonna change the color of our shader. So it's actually not even changing, but giving the color to it. So you just go through the R, G, and B, you know, put it in the right proportions of just red, green, and blue. Make it the color you want. You could make this like golden, I've seen on one of the shaders, but that's once again personal preference. I gotta stop repeating things, but you get it, okay? Yeah, it's personal preference. So you, let's say you've set everything up, you know, you could mimic this if you really want to. But once again, you get everything done and you take the color output, and this is the next section. And this is where the add shader falls in. Not really, but kinda. So basically, the next thing we do is take the color that we're going to use and we send it into an emission node. This emission node controls the overall look of the thing, so it looks like it's actually glowing. So if we, you know, bump it up, it's going to look weird, it's going to be too bright, and take it down, it's not even going to be seen because it's not, you know, glowing. And you might say, you might want to change around, you know, the actual glow of the thing, and that's what we'll actually do next. That is something that's actually explained in the Black Plasma main tutorial, but for the purposes of this, we're gonna go through this real quick. So here, you really don't want anything past 1 because it's not needed. It's you could have used 2, but yeah, that's too much. Oh, that's 4. Yeah, but overall, you want a normal strength, you know, make it look like it's glowing, but not like, you know, blinding or whatever, just like make it white or something. So basically you run this output into the add shader, because this is the overlay. The add shader makes it the overlay. And then the output from the add shader, everything over here, we take it and put it into this mix shader. On the bottom, that's important, because on the top one, that's what is going to be using to actually make the glow of the things. So you set the color, you actually don't connect any nodes to this, you set your own color, or I guess you could kind of connect this, but overall I use the, you know, custom color and stuff. And here, because of we're working in cycles right now, this shader, it takes it and it uses the camera ray to not change the look per se of the item itself, because if we bump it up, you can see nothing changes about the actual thing. That's what the bottom shader works on. But the top one, it actually changes the glow around the object, or how it's like emitting light and stuff. So if we go into the rendered view and we take the strength up again, you can see it begins to glow over here. And you really don't need a high strength for this, because, you know, once again, the main tutorial is your guide for the stuff like this, emission and compositing. But if you have everything set up, you know, have the boosh from Black Plasma Studios, then even a pretty small amount of like emission, it's gonna create a nice glow effect. But we go back to the shader, and because it's using the compositing nodes and everything, and we got the shader set up, let's actually, you know, work our way back. But it's gonna create the glow effect. It would work without the compositing, because if you, as you've seen, if you bump this up, it's even gonna create the glow around it, even without the compositing. But the compositing, it adds the, you know, nice touch effect on top of it. But okay, assuming you've got everything done here, and, you know, as I said, you can change around the position of the thing, you can change around where the texture is at. Assuming you got everything done, you literally just take the final output of the mix shader and connect it to the surface, and boom, you got yourself a Enchantment shader in Blender from Minecraft. So now let's actually render this out. And as you can see, I could work on this a bit. You know, it's not perfect, but this is the approximate result you'll get. You know, as always, customize it work and just play around is the main point and everything. But yeah, this honestly would have concluded, I think. We went over everything. So once again, thank you for sticking around, everyone. You know, the usual deal, like, sub if you want more stuff. And I am sorry this video took so long to make because there was too much stuff going on at school, you know, English projects and stuff, and it's just annoying. And I really did not have any time left whatsoever to like actually edit and stuff. But I'm taking way too much time already, so once again, thanks, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.